This Catalyst build is one of the most broken roaming builds right now in Guild Wars 2 World vs. World. So if you like Catalyst and you want to play something that is absolutely on top of the meta, be sure to give this build a try. I rated it very highly in my tier list, be sure to check that one out for roaming. But now, special shout out to all my supporters on YouTube, Twitch and Patreon that help me keep the lights on. And let's start with the gear. The gear is really straightforward. You go for full Celestial with Balthasar Rune. Just for more burning duration. Yes, Celestial doesn't give you concentration and expertise anymore in World vs. World, but it's still the best stat for this build. But you could easily swap that if you wanted to go some kind of Trailblazer mix, something like that. You could even go Ritualist. Everything works here as long as it has condition damage and some defensive stats on there. This build is so good that it doesn't really matter which kind of gear stats you use. I would recommend Celestial because it's just overall the best for this build because you can use every single stat of that, but that's just my take. Then for infusions, I would go with conditioned infusions. If you can afford them, it's not necessary of course. For your weapons, you would go Scepter, Dagger. On your Scepter, you want to run Doom Sigil, and on your Dagger, you want to run Geomancy Sigil. Yes, you could make the argument to go for Focus, but I think this build already has enough defense, so I think going for Dagger with a more mobility and damage-focused set, it's better, I would say. So those two sigils are really good in tandem because as soon as you swap while you're in combat, you proc the Geomancy Sigil, which does bleeding to nearby enemies, and this attack will also inflict the Doom, so you will get 3 stacks of poison on there and the bleeding on there. So it's actually quite nasty how much damage you can do just by attunement swapping while you're melee. It's actually really good, for example, against Thief. They are engaging in you, you just swap your attunement, you don't have to have a target. They get like 5k to 10k damage depending on how fast they cleanse it and how much might you have. It's actually insane. And then for your trinkets, you of course go also for full Celestial. And for your Relic, there are 2 options, I would say, or multiple options actually. This is just what I chose. You could go easily with Relic of Rivers. You could go with Relic of Earth, like you can see here. I think Relic of Earth is really good because it grants protection when you use your elite skill and it gives you Magnetic Aura. This build is already really nasty how much Magnetic Aura uptime you have. So if you fight against someone like a Harbinger or someone that has a lot of projectiles, this build is really annoying to fight for them. It's insane. So if you take this one, you have even more Magnetic Aura uptime. It's really, really good. And with the trait, you will also get stability. So it's really, really strong. If you want to swap that, like I said, Relic of Rivers is a good option because it gives Alacrity, which is always good, but it's not that long anymore after the nerfs. I think the other one that comes to mind, Relic of the Astral Vault, is really good because whenever you use a Signet skill, which you use in this build quite often, you will get a proc, and when you use it a second Signet, you will get 2 cleansed condis also for your allies, and you get resistance. So that's really nice. You get some nice condi cleanses and resistance uptime with this. But you have to use 2 signets to make that work. But still, I think it's a really good one. I personally like to have more Magnetic Aura because in the current meta, it's actually really nice to have more Magnetic Aura up. You could easily go also for Searching Relic, which would trade, so to say, the protection and the Magnetic Aura for Shocking Aura. But it's also really potent Shocking Aura, of course. So you have a lot of ways to actually make this build your own playstyle. So be sure to do that. For the consumables, it's really straightforward. I would go with Flavor type Peppercorn Spiced Oyster Soup, just for the minus 10% incoming damage and more to all attributes. It's just the best perfect food for this build actually. And then for utility consumables, I would go MMOs Tuning Crystals for condition damage. It's just really, really good. Before I go to the traits, I want to mention if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. It helps out my channel a bunch. But now let's talk about the traits. So for the traits, it's also quite clear. You want to go Fire for damage, you want to go Earth for defenses, and you want to go Catalyst to access your Shade Sphere, which is really broken. Then Fire gives you a lot, just passive power. You get a Fire Aura when you swap to Fire. That's really nice, you will see why. And your Fire skills have shorter recharge. And don't forget, this build is Celestial, at least in my variant. And therefore, all your attacks will also do power damage, not only condi damage. So that's why, for example, Burning Precision is really good because you get the chance on critical hit to inflict burning. You crit quite often because you're Celestial, and burning lasts longer because of this trait, so you actually have a lot of value from this. But you could, if you wanted to, go for more condi cleanse with this trait. Then Smothering Auras, that's the most important condi cleanse. Whenever you get an aura, you remove 1 condi. If you transmute your aura, which you can in this build, you actually get 2 condi cleansed instead. So really, really potent condi cleanse. And then lastly, Pyromancer's Puissance, that one got buffed. It just now gives you might, and when you swap out of fire, you actually do some damage around you. It doesn't remove your might anymore, so it's really, really strong how much might you get just passively by spamming attacks while you're in fire attunement. So this is why you can actually get to 25 might and just burst someone down with a lot of damage. This build is insane. I will get to that in a second. There is a version of the build where you just spam auto attack and actually can kill enemies. It's insane. It's really, really strong. It's really toxic, this build actually. And then Earth, defensive trade line, like I said, damage reduction. You get some more damage reduction here and Earth recharge it. Then you get some barrier when you swap to Earth. That's quite nice. And your auras grant protection, obviously really nice, just defenses. You get a lot of auras. Then you can run Earth and Blessing. I personally think Earth and Blessing is okay, especially if you fight against necromancers that apply a lot of chill or enemies like that, then it's actually very decent. But I personally like to run Strength of Stone just for more damage, because it's just really, really nasty how much more damage you get. 10% of your toughness into condition damage, and whenever you inflict Immobilize, which you can do in this build, you get also some bleeding on there. That's quite nice, because that's also conditions that you not that easily get. Your main condition is burning, so just covering your burning with other conditions like bleeding is really nice. But it's obviously like a choice. This is defensive one, that's the aggressive one. And then you'd always have to take Written in Stone. That means whenever you use a Signet skill, you get an aura based on which Signet it was. They have shorter duration, but they are still really potent because they proc all your aura traits. And your Signets keep their passives while they are actually recharging. That's really strong, so you can spam all your Signets that you see on this bar here, and you still have the passives. It's really, really good. This is such a good trade now. And then Catalyst, of course, you get access to your Shade Sphere, gives a lot of boons. You get some passive elemental empowerment stacks, which all increase your stats. Really good on a Celestial build, of course. Then you get some energy when you swap attunements, and also some might. Like I said, you get more boons in the Shade Sphere. That's really nice. Just some quickness, resistance, vigor, might, and always swiftness. That's quite nice to keep up with your target or run away. Then the most important trait in Catalyst actually is Elemental Epitome. So whenever you use a combo finisher while you're in combat, you get an attunement dependent aura. And those auras are really, really potent, and they proc all of their traits, the synergy traits. So it's really, really strong in that regard. So always use those. Whenever you swap to attunement, always try to use at least one combo finisher so that you get the aura and swap to another element. It's really, really strong, but we'll get to that in the gameplay section. And then staunch auras, that's why it's so good. Whenever you grant yourself an aura, you grant stability and protection, and you cleanse a condition. And because of the Earth Relic, you can also get that from the elite skill. Let's now cover the utility skills and skills in general. So in air, you have great mobility and you have some knockback that can be nice, and some evade. The 2 and the 3 skill are instant cast, so you can use that. The auto attack is decent, but you would not use it most of the time. In fire, you get really, really strong potent skills, all the power damage and condi damage, so always use them. This is a fire field, those 2 are blast finishers, and this is a heavy hitting skill. The auto attack is one of the strongest skills in the entire game now, especially with this strongest auto attack status because of Pyromancer's Puissance. You stack might by using it. It has a rather fast cast time, and whenever you use it, it deals damage and does burning. It's also AoE burning, so that means it's actually really strong how much damage it will do passively with the might. So if you fight specific like opponents and you can keep your range, you don't need to use any other skill, just using the auto attack and you will kill them. That's so crazy, that's so strong. Of course, like I said, the Shade Spheres are providing boons, but also of combo fields, so if you combo in them, you get the auras, and that's really good. This is a fire field, in air it's a lightning field, in water it's a water field, so it can heal you. The auto attack here is also decent, the 2 skill is nice, to some damage and some chill. The 3 skill heals, this one is the transmute if you have frost aura already, otherwise it just gives you frost aura. If you transmute it, it cleanses conditions and it gives you some reach and heals. The 5 skill is a very nice heal and condition cleanse. In Earth you have a poison field, so you can get area weakness while blasting it, that can also be quite nice. The 2 skill here gives some nice toughness, barrier, resistance, really strong. If you use the instant cast, then you can even run away and cast something else and still get the combo finisher here and the bleeding, really good. This is also some nice bleeding, this is some nice soft CC, this is some hard CC with knockdown and also a blast finisher. This is another blast finisher and some cripple and some bleeding. You can see the synergies of this build is already in the weapon set. It's really, really strong. When you then go to the utility skills, you use Signet of Restoration for some healing. You will be able to activate it and still get the passive healing of casts. Really strong, it grants Frost Aura. This one will immobilize your target when you hit it and gives you Magnetic Aura. Has 1200 range, so it's really strong, and passively gives you toughness, so even when you activate it, you still get the toughness. Signet of Fire gives you more burning damage just by spamming it off cooldown. It has really strong AoE burning from 1200 range. Passively it gives more crit chance, that's quite nice, you Celestial so you take value of that, and gives you Fire Aura, and then you have Signet of Air with your only stun break, but you have so high stability uptime that this is actually not a big issue. Use it when you are stunned and you need to get out of it, but don't use it too easily because you have so much stability uptime. And it grants Shocking Aura, which is obviously really strong to negate damage, and is also granting you passive movement speed, so it's really, really good. And then last but not least, it take Elemental Celerity, because it of course recharges all your weapon skills that you currently have equipped in this attunement that you're in, really strong, and depending on the attunement you use it in, you actually get a boon. I would say the most important boons are probably Protection and Vigor, but all of them can be useful. So if you need, for example, a lot of burst damage, you use it in Fire. If you need a lot of mobility, you use it in Air to ride the lightnings out. And if you need a lot of healing, you use it in Water. If you need a lot of like just CC, you would typically use it in Earth. So there are many ways to use it. I think all of them are really fun. In general, I would use this build, as you can see in the background here, play it really aggressive and try to use your signets and try to really lock down your target with it. In general, I would also say it is not that hard to play. I think you can make a lot of cool combos with the Elemental Epitome trait, but in general it's not necessary to play it very like crazy high IQ build that you have to always think about, oh, is that off cooldown, is that off cooldown? It doesn't really matter. In the most part, you just switch attunements, try to get a combo field, try to heal, try to deal damage, and try to keep your range, and then you do the same. When the enemy goes on you, typically weapon swapping is really good because you will actually just negate a lot of damage by being tanky with Celestial, while also dealing a lot of damage with just having, for example, the procs from the Geomancy Sigil and the Doom Sigil when you attunement swap, so that can be all really, really easy to do. You don't have to play it really crazy challenged. I think this build is really fun to play, a lot of combo potential that I already mentioned in the skills. For example, you can use a lot of setup skills with the Signet of Earth into your heavy hitting skills because it's an immobilize. You can also use the updraft, the R5 to get a nice knockdown and then use your burst skills, for example, swapping attunement while you're in range and all of the good stuff. So you have a lot of possibilities to actually make this build really like somewhat crazy in terms of combo potential, as well as, don't forget, everything that you do that gives an aura is also giving you stability, so you are harder to kill. The auras help, for example, Magnetic Aura is really nasty against projectile enemies, but also the Shocking Aura is good against anyone because it shocks them, it gives them a stun or CCs them when you get hit. That's really important. So there are many, many ways to make this build really easy to play and still very, very strong. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.